How many of you have ever wished your life could be different? Maybe you wished for a different outcome. You've made a decision in your life where you don't like where you're at. Examples being your career. Maybe you're in a career that you don't like, and you wish if I had a better career, I could have a bigger house, and that would make me happy, or I could make more money and buy the nicer car, and that would make me happy. You just keep wishing for something that you wish you had. Or all of us can relate to this, weight. If you could just lose weight, then you would be happy. If once you're happy, then you could get dressed in the morning. You're not going to have to worry about, oh my gosh, do these jeans make me look fat? Well, of course they do. You need to lose weight. You'd be more social. You just wish. When really, life, there are no do-overs, are there? I mean, this is life. And when I talk to my young audiences, I always use the analogy to a video game controller. Because when kids are playing the video games, they get caught up in it. And maybe it's not going the way they planned and they're not liking the situation they're in. What do? Restart the game. But we can't do that with life, can we? Because reality is this is life. And the choices we make affect our life. And I want to share with you a decision that I made. I was 18 years old, so roughly about 10 years ago. 18 years old, the magic number, right? You know everything. Everybody around you is dumb. You're pretty much in life. You know your future. You have your life planned out. And I was that 18-year-old. I was in college. I was at Kent State University, living on my own. A girl that liked to have fun. And by fun, I mean liked to party with my friends, drinking, going to school events, and having to drink before that event, because that's what we thought we had to do to have fun. And we never thought of the negative consequences of it. And if we did, the negative consequence was, oh my gosh, the police. Because then that negative consequence then had the parent consequence, which then led to probably being grounded for the rest of my life, living on an island in Quebec, never to see a boy, never to see anything. Penis, anything. I would have to hope that somebody had sent me a book that had a naughty picture in it. So that was my life, having fun, living life. Didn't want to think about the negative consequences because then that wasn't fun. So we always thought of the positive consequences. Good time with our friends. Concerts at Blossom always seemed better as we pre-drank. We pre-drank to go to movies. And this is what my friends and I assumed everybody at 18 years old, 19 years old was doing. We were in college. It's about having fun. This is when fun is supposed to happen because as we get older, then comes responsibility. And life kind of then just goes downhill from there. So this is about having fun. We're young. And I, of course, had heard the consequences of drinking and driving could be an injury, and God forbid could be death. But that was not going to happen to me because I was a good kid. I came from a good family. I had supportive parents. I was an athlete. I played volleyball. I snow skied. I water skied. So it wasn't going to happen to me. And if an injury did happen, it would be maybe a broken leg, something you get better with in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, a concussion, stitches, nothing that was going to be life-altering. So my friends and I would go out. We'd have fun. Then Thanksgiving break came from college, a break that's coming up here in a couple weeks. Big time for college kids who have gone off to different colleges. We get to all come together now at home, see my friends, hear about their different college activities. And a very good friend of mine who I'd grown up with since 6th grade, he was going to have a party. This was an opportunity once we all got home to get together, catch up on old times, see who had gained the freshman 13, the weight thing when girls go off to college. I think maybe mine was freshman 18. I liked the carbs at the cafeteria on campus. So I was excited to get home that weekend. I was excited to get home, number one, to have my mom do my laundry, to sleep in my own bed, and to see my friends and have a good time, which meant partying. And I had driven a car under the influence of alcohol hundreds of times throughout high school. I was the one that was the designated driver, which of course means the driver that does not drink, the right definition. But my friends and I would always pick our designated driver by the driver that drank the least. You know, you do a quick assessment of your friends. One of them's kind of swaying, and you're like, well, no, you're out. The other one, you know, the front of their jeans are a little bit darker because maybe they didn't get a chance to pull them all the way down. Obviously, they're out. So I was the designated driver because I felt like I could still drive okay under the influence. Plus, I had a stick. None of my friends could drive that. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So I would drive to parties, drive to pick up friends, drive to, you know, the movie that we would be going to, never thinking that I would harm any one of these people in my car. And I got home okay every time I did it. So that invincible, indestructible attitude of, you know, it could happen to me went away. It wasn't going to happen to me. I had this. So I came home that holiday weekend, very excited to get home, very excited to get to the party. And I knew there would be drinking at this party. I arrived to the party late that evening, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. When you get to an event, and it's been an event going on for a couple hours, and there's alcohol involved, you know, people are feeling pretty good. So when I arrived at this party that night, and I got there late, majority of my girlfriends that I always hung around with in high school, there were 6 of us. My father swore that we were attached at the hips because, of course, we had to dress the same when we went out, and we'd call each other and be like, don't wear your purple shirt, I'm wearing it, and don't wear those one jeans. So we were a group of girls that always were together. So when I arrived at the party that night, I parked my car, got out, walked up the driveway. Well, those girlfriends that I had grown up with were standing there, drinking, having fun, good time. So they, of course, ran up to me and approached me and jumped on me, and I still swear to this day one of them licked me. She is denying it. But I said to them, you know, we were talking, having fun, and of course they offered me a beer. You know, here's a beer, come on, catch up. Now, on my way to this party, I had decided not to drink. Reason for that being that way was maybe, I don't know, it was late. I had just finished the Thanksgiving dinner at my sister's house. So when we stuff ourselves full of that trichomycophenacin, and I figure if you say it fast, it sounds like you know what you're saying, of the turkey dinner, I was thinking there is no way I could slip a beer into this stomach because my jeans were already maybe 2 sizes too small to start out, but I swore I wore 10. I had to lay down on the bed, put the pliers in the zipper and pull it up, but I was comfortable. And that's all that matters. You know, just if I dropped something, I had to kick it. I don't need that. But my friends were there. They were offering me a beer. I can't refuse a beer. So I took the beer. Another one of my friends, a very good friend of mine, who I grew up with, she and I would go out together. There were times I drove her home after drinking too much, you know, and got her in the house okay, and had another friend follow me in my car. She and I were very good friends. When I got to the party, she approached me. She wanted me to go for a ride with her in her new car. She had gotten a new car. Instead of going to college, she went off into the working world. So she bought a new car for reliable transportation. And when she asked me to go for a ride with her, my first thought was, why are you driving? You have a brand new car. I could tell she was drinking. I could tell she was impaired. But I didn't want to say anything to her because we don't like to confront. My thought was, if I just blow her off, say, yeah, I'll go with you maybe later, she'll forget asking me. I'll go into the party, see my friends, stay an hour or two, head out, probably won't even see her. That was my plan that night. So I told her, yes, I'll go with you maybe later, thinking I'll just, not see her. Went into the party, started into my second beer. I wasn't a heavy drinker as far as the amount I would drink in order to become impaired. I was what they would call a lightweight drinker. So 2 beers in me, my judgment was impaired. 2 beers in me, though, I didn't feel it, because you can't feel impairment. It's gradual. Of course, you become invincible and you do things you normally would not do. So the party went on. I realized it was getting late. I started to leave that party that night. My friend who asked me in the beginning to go for the car ride was outside. She caught me as I was coming out of the door. She said, "Wait, you can't go. I still want to take you for a car ride. You promised." And now 2 hours later, 2 beers later, I'm thinking, why not? I've gone on hundreds of car rides before. To get beer, to get cigarettes, to pick somebody else up, to go from one party to the other, where the driver was way more impaired than what my friend looked like. So why not? So I agreed to go for the car ride with her. And I thought it would be like all the other car rides. But what turned out different about this car ride was I did not get to come home till 13 months later. My friend lost control of the car as we were going down the street. Before we knew it, we were heading into a curve in the street. A car was coming around that bend. It was a woman coming home from her night shift at Parma Hospital, minding her own business on her side of the street. When my friend and I saw the headlights, my friend panicked and cut the wheel. Our car went off the street. It went down into a ditch. It came up airborne out of that ditch, where then it went across another driveway, nose first into another ditch, which it started to flip then. I was in the passenger seat, obviously, with no seatbelt on. So as the car started to flip, my body was thrown into the ceiling of the car, hitting my head and snapping my neck right where my shirt meets my neck. And in 1 second, I was holding on, praying, "Please, God, get me through this. I'll do things differently. I'll go to church more. I'll read to the blind more. I won't swear when my mother tells me to clean my room. I won't flip my dad off when he doesn't give me the car." Anything to go back. But we can't go back, because now this is life. And for that 20 minutes that I laid in that car, I thought of my parents, 2 of the most important people at that time of my life that were in my life. When I left my sister's house that night, I grabbed my jacket, "Bye, Mom and Dad, see you later." Last thing my mom said was, "Don't be late, Barbara." And of course, I'm sure I flipped her off. I'll see him in the morning. I don't have to say I love you. I don't have to hug them. They know that. They're my parents. They chose to have me. I didn't choose. So who needs to say that to them? But as I laid there for that 20 minutes, I wanted to go back to be able to tell them I loved them, because I thought I was dying in that car crash. And now, at 18, knowing everything, I was only 18. I was just starting life. I had goals. I had dreams. I was in college. I was going to go to work for my father out of college. I was going to get married to Mr. Perfect after I met him in college and have 2.7 kids, which I'm always wondering why they give that third child that 0.7. Why did the first 2 get a whole point? Third gets... I'm the third, so I'm a little psychologically damaged from that. But my message here is, this is life. I laid there, and it took me 13 months to recover from 13 months in the hospital, and then a year and a half in outpatient, learning everything I could from here down all over again. The life I knew was gone, and now I had to find the new normal. A lot of time to say, why me? I wasn't a bad kid. I was a kid that was just out having fun. Everybody does this. But then I had to also say, why not me? Life has circumstances. Some we can control, some we can't. So now I had to take the life I knew now, and it took me 7 years to realize this is my life. I could wish that I didn't go for a car ride with her. I could have wished she went right instead of left. I could have wished, I would have went out the front door of the party and not But what was it getting me? It wasn't getting me anything. This was my life, and I learned to appreciate it. I learned that the little things in life that so many of us take for granted, we don't pay attention to. We ignore them because we're focused on the big things. So I appreciate the little things. So you're in your life. This is it. This is reality. Never have you ever heard somebody say, as they've spoke to somebody on their deathbed, they wish they would have worked more. They wish they would have, had a better job so they could have got that bigger house, so they could have bought the faster car, or somebody didn't say, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have eaten those 6 packs of cupcakes, or maybe I shouldn't have taken all my son's Halloween candy before he got home from school, and now look at me. No, they wish they would have lived life more. So you're in life. Start living it, because the clock is ticking.